How are you? How am I? How are you? How am I? How are you? How am I? Yes, I've just been trying to tune this guitar, but you have to start with this one. And if this one's not right, everything else is wrong. But I think it's in tune with itself, whatever that self may be. So hello! Joyous Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever you're watching this, or Saturday. I don't know, but it is Sunday while I am doing this. So hello people. Hello. Are there people there? I don't know. There's no comments, there's no anything, there's no chat. Welcome to live chat, it says, and yet there is nobody there. I gave my hair a little trim yesterday. It was looking a little bit straggly. Don't know whether it's any better now. Oh, 4 hours. Oh no, 4 hours. I set it for 8 p.m. Not 8 a.m. What? 4 hours? I must have set the wrong setting. All right, well, I'm here now. So, I'm here, whatever. Yes. So, yesterday was very rainy, which was unfortunate because I've only been doing it for the last 2 years, but there's a pride thing in Torvine, which is the place that I'm currently living. And it was rare. I didn't go. Me and my mum were going to go, and then we didn't because it was raining. It was like because it was like a family fun day really, and with stalls and all sorts of stuff in Pontypool Park, and we didn't go. But then a friend of mine I hadn't seen for ages was like, "Oh, are you going?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll go down." So I went down there, and then got rained on and missed them anyway. They were there with their daughter, but their daughter had to go home for exams, and I didn't see them. And it was a wide open field. You'd think so I went down there and I watched a couple of people doing music and stuff. There was a choir from Newport, like musical theatre choir and everything, which you couldn't hear, even though I was like 2 yards from the stage. They were trying to sit. They had microphones, but you couldn't hear them. So that was. I don't know whether they were talented or not because I couldn't hear them. But and then some woman came on and she started singing, and then it rained, very much so. And I thought I will go home. So I stayed there for about 20 minutes or whatever, and sort of like, oh, there's some straws and things and cupcakes and stuff like that. So that was fun. I do hope that they got what they wanted out of it because yeah. So I was just standing there going, oh, people, things, stuff. So that was interesting. So that was, I don't know whether that was a wasted day because I got to go for a walk and I was in the park and I heard some music, just about heard some music, and then I came home again. So that's what I did yesterday in lieu of Doctor Who, which is now over. So that was something. It was like I just wanted to see what was going on in the park, and that was nice. So hello, Philip. So it was, it was stuff in the park, and there was like children's playground stuff and whatever. I did bring my swimming costume. I thought I was gonna go swimming in the leisure centre, which is nearby, which I could have done because it got rained on. I should have just gone swimming in the rain. It was hail as well, and I had an umbrella. I put the umbrella up. I'm like smugly, haha, I'll be all right. And then it rained the other way, so I was like, I'll come home now. So I missed the person who was going down there, and my mother didn't come with me, and I didn't see anybody I knew. So I was just like, oh, people, things, stuff. So yeah, fun. That's what I've done this week, and that's about it. I put a video up. I'll put a video up about the Gorses Stones. I'll put that up afterwards. It'll be a short, a YouTube short. That's what it will be. So, things to do in Pontypool. Well, I pointed out where the field was, where they would have held the Pride. Well, that was where they did it. I didn't make a video because I was like, I copyrighted material with the singing and the dancing and stuff, if you could have heard it. So I was just like, it's there. It was there anyway, yeah. So, yeah, so I did go to, at the beginning of the week, I went to Bellevue Park, which is in Newport, because my dad had to go to the hospital. So I was going to go down with him and wait for him, and then when he was ready, we were going to go back on the bus. But he was kept in overnight. So I was hanging around in the park for a little bit, wandering around. So I haven't made that video. I will stick it up. So Bellevue Park, and I can put that up when I've done it. I did put the little short up somewhere else, but I can put the little short up and then I can do the rest of it. And So that was something that I did. Anyway, my dad's all right. So that's back. He came back the next day, and so that was fine. I'm not sure whether he's recovering. He's recovering. Yes, he's fine. But yeah. So I just came back on the bus. I had to wander through Newport, and I didn't know that Newport had walls. Like, I've been there before, but I walked through a place called St. Woolis, which is in Newport, which is part of Newport, where there's a cathedral, and there was a big wall. I was like, what's that wall? And it's a plaque saying, this is Newport's walls. It's like, what? I didn't know it had walls, so I will put that up later when I've edited it. But I can put up the tiny one about the Gorset Stones, which will be a short, but the other one will be this shape. And so whether it's a landscape of the landscape, but I've also got a portrait of course, the shorts, and they have to be shorter. And the other way round for some reason. Who knows what thing. Anyway, that's what I've been doing this week. Yay! And cutting my hair. Not very much, but I was just like, boom, 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 boom. I wasn't even looking till once it was like down to there. And I was like, oh, that's more than I thought I'd cut off. I looked at it the next day. I was like, oh well, never mind. It's been shorter than this. And to be honest, I'm thinking of going short. I was like, should I just shave it all off and start again? Because it's getting all sort of like bleh. Texture of it. It's like, is it straight? Is it wavy? No, it's just fuzzy. So yeah, might be better off without it for the summer. Yay! Not summer, because you just get wet. So it's not the sort of climate where you go, I'll just have a cool summer hair, because you're not going to. There's no hot heat. There's no point in that. But you know. Yes, but I've seen a lot of videos lately, and women are going, oh, I shave the hair, patriarchy, and it's like, why? You're just trying to make everybody do it. Anyway, I don't know. My hair is never been shorter than that short. Like, that's about, it was sort of like, that sort of, I had a sort of, it was like a short bob that was slightly shorter at the back, and it was sort of skewy. I did when I was about 12 or 13. I wanted to get my hair cut professionally because my mum used to cut my hair into like a bob with a fringe that was all over the place. And I was like, I want to get a haircut somewhere else. And she took a front to this. She took very much a front to this. So she took me to a barber. I'm sure I've said this before. She took me to this hairdresser. Also, she had Alsatians. Not Alsatians. Like what those? Not the Alsatians. What are those? The silky haired that. Afghans, Afghan hounds. She had Afghan hounds, and she also ran a side hustle cutting dogs' hairs. So dogs' hair. So it was like, wow. But she mainly she was like a unisex dog hairdresser, really. And so I went there, and she gave me a very short haircut, which was not at all what I wanted. So that's the shortest haircut I've had, and it was like, nah, that's not what I wanted. And she's like, ha ha, my mother, ha ha, you asked for it. I was like, this is not what I meant, because I actually always really wanted long hair when I was a little kid, and she wouldn't have it, because my mother says she never had long hair, because she said that her father said she looked like a witch with long hair, and so she's never had long hair, and so that I'm not. So everybody is not allowed to have long hair because of that. So that's not. That's my mum issue, really. My mum issue. But if she watches this, love you, Mum. You don't look like a witch. If you had long hair, you would look fine. I think that it's just that her dad was mean. I never met the guy because he died the week after I was born. But I'm not sure I'd get on with him, to be honest. I'm not sure. Much as I'm sure he was a beloved father and husband and whatever. He had 9 kids. So something must have been. He must have had something, really. But apparently my grandmother never saw him. I'm airing out the family laundry here. He was like, I don't know. If you saw the video I posted of Pontypool Park, then you saw the picture of my grandmother, who was married to this guy. But the guy in the picture next to the bandstand who's not my grandfather, I have no idea. Nobody knows who it is. Could be anyone. So if he had been my grandfather, then he wouldn't have been my grandfather, because then I wouldn't have existed, because that's how it works. You know, maybe a billion to one chance that a little bit of whoever a little bit of half of my mother might have still gone into my mother, if at this very same instant in that month. So during that month, then the way that it works, if some other guy had then my mother would have been half who she was. She could have been anyone else. She could have been my dad, but then I wouldn't have been, because then I wouldn't have existed, because if she'd have been my dad, then my egg wouldn't have existed, so I wouldn't have existed. So she'd have to be. This is complicated, isn't it? I am my own grandfather. Anyway, that is not who my grandfather was. My grandfather, I never knew him. I never knew my grandfather. I never knew him at all. I knew my other grandfather. I knew him a little bit, but then he died quite soon afterwards as well. And he was quite grumpy. He was a lovely guy, but he'd had a mining accident when he was in his 20s and had to give up work. So something fell on his head, and I don't know whether that made him grumpy. He was a nice guy, but a little bit grumpy. So I'd be grumpy if a mine fell on my head as well, really. So there you go. So family drama, eh? Family drama. Is anybody talking to me? Am I just rambling about airing dirty laundry? Sweeney Todd. Oh, Sweeney Todd. The Diva Barbara Sweet Fleet. Yeah, Sweeney Todd the barber. Oh, we were talking about barbers. Yes, I got taken to the barber. Exactly. Still here. It all went very quiet. Yeah. So no, not a barber that made pies on the side. A barber that cut dog's hair on the side. So that was the shortest hair that I've ever had. And it did make me look a lot like my brother looked at the same age. We both sort of... we put on a little bit of weight when we were about 12, me and my brother, both of us, and we both got big glasses, both of us, and we both got a similar haircut. So if you look at a picture of my brother aged 12 and then a picture of me aged the same age, then you would not be able to tell which is which, which is which. But then it grew, and so my hair, not other things, and well, yes, other things, but yes, other things after I was 12 that made it clear that I was not my brother. But there you go. That's another matter entirely. But I think I never thought I looked like my brother, because my brother was like a pretty little child with big blue eyes, and everybody used to say when I was a kid, "Oh, your brother's so lovely. He's so pretty. What a handsome boy. What a beautiful boy." And they never said that I was beautiful and lovely, and I had a slightly lopsided face. My mum won't have it. She's like, "No, you never did. What's wrong with your face?" But I was like, I don't know whether I had Bell's palsy or just because I have got a slightly wonky face. And also, I am fairly sure that I am a chimera and that I ate my own twin in the womb. That might not be accurate, but I did have a lopsided face, so it's very possible that half of me was, and I've got astigmatism in that, so I've got a slightly wonky face. I'm not as symmetrical as my brother, so that's how you can tell the difference, and other things as well, and also other things as well. But yeah, so yeah, family resemblances, eh? Woo! It just I just watched a video of somebody that was she's like, "I'm a twin, can you guess who my twin is?" And then went through a series of people in the room. It was like, no, because clearly you are not identical twins, and so I do not know who your twin is. If he was an identical twin, then that would have been an easy one, I suppose. Can you guess who this identical person was? But he went through 6 or 7 people, some of whom looked nothing like him, and some of whom looked a little bit like him, and apparently were his brothers. So it's like, I don't know. Why are you asking me silly questions? Silly questions! There's also somebody on, let's go about viral videos at the moment. I just saw one where some woman was going, "Look at my blue couch. I'm trying to sell it, and everyone's saying it's not blue." And she's like, "This is blue, isn't it?" It's like, "Yes, that is blue." And then she's like, And this is my couch, and the couch is very clearly grey. It's like, yes, that one thing that you look, your sofa's not blue, your chair's not blue, that pencil is blue, that pencil is not the same colour as your couch. So I'm not sure what freaky form of colour blindness that is, where you think that you see more colours than there are. That's interesting. So it's like, this is the colour of her couch, and she's like, look, the couch and this blue thing are the same, aren't they? Because that's not grey. It's like, it is, I mean, that's not blue, is it? No. Well, this is more or less the same colour as her couch was. I don't know, because everybody's perception, that's it. Perception changes. So you think that you see one thing and somebody else sees something entirely different. And that's the interesting thing about life, because you can never be entirely sure whether you're seeing the same thing as somebody else is seeing. Because to her, if that's very blue, then nobody else thought it was, but it's blue because of her. David follows from you. Yes, one circuit. Glad to see you out there. Oh, hello. See you out there. Yes, that's great. Yes, that is great. David Morgan. Oh, circuit 270. Yes, I'm still out here. David Morgan. Do I know you, David Morgan? I probably do. I know a load of people called David Morgan. It could have been any one of them. There's so many David Morgans. Way back. Yeah. Hello, David Morgan. The thing is, me being a Welsh person, that number of David Morgans, there used to be an actual like department store in Cwmbran called David Morgan, but it got taken over by Debenhams, and very unfortunately, Debenhams has gone away, so now there is no department store at all. Where that was, there is a chasm, a great big empty chasm of a retail place. Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much, David Morgan. Yes, over the underground is the thing that I wrote. Not very many people have read it, though. Some people have read it, but not very many. Thank you, David Morgan, for reading it. So you are the David Morgan that has read my stuff. So that narrows it down somewhat from the thousands of millions of David Morgans. You are the one. You are the chosen David Morgan. You are the chosen one. La 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 la. So that's good. Let's narrow it down. Not the department. You are a super David Morgan, but not a department store one. Because that is defunct and you are not. And that's the difference. Oliver Hardy. No, there was another one. There was one. Howells, Jingles, and David Morgan, and David Morgan might have been the one in Cardiff. Actually, I'm getting that completely right. Well, there was one in. What was the one in Cwmbran? I don't know. David Morgan Arcade. It's the Cardiff one, and there's lots of arcades still named the David Morgan Arcade because you can cut through. What was the one in Cwmbran? No, they're all lost in time. Yes, never had a department store. Well, that's a shame, but you won't have it now, so just as well, because you haven't lost it, and something you haven't lost means that you can still have it again, even though you never had it in the first place. So the potential is still there. Yay! Potential still there to have it. You can do what you want. Have a department store. Howells, Dingles, Jollies, and David Evans. Morgan, David Evans. That was the name of it. But there's also a Morgan Arcade, and I've put the two in your mind. I've joined them together. David Evans and David Morgan are two different Davids. Still very well. So David Evans was in Cwmbran, and David Morgans was in Cardiff, and now it isn't. But there is a St. David Centre and a Morgan Arcade, so you can join yourself up. And back to the you're back to the start. Although there's the St. David Centre Arcade. I went there fairly recently, and they've got a whole new bit and everything. But the old bit that you used to have is really empty, like everything's cleared out. But the St. David's Centre, which used to have like opera and singing and all sorts of concerts and stuff, apparently it's been closed for a year and a half, and it's going to be closed for another year or two because of concrete rot or some very, very bad concrete. So that's bad. I went to see not Marla. What's the other one that's not Marla? I don't know. What could be anyone that's not Marla. I went to see something that I thought was Marla, but wasn't Marla. Now I think it was something like Marla, but not quite as operatic. There was I can't remember what it was, but I went to see a concert with my drama teacher at school. I think several of us went. Did they? I'm like, did they? I can't. It can't have just been me and my drama teacher, because that's a bit odd. I think there were several of us. I think there was some. He took several of us to this concert, and it was a great concert. It was a chamber orchestra concert, so it definitely wasn't Mahler. There wasn't all like Valkyries, la 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 la. That wasn't like that. It wasn't kill the rabbit, kill the rabbit. It wasn't that. So it wasn't Mahler. Oh, Brunhilde, you're so lovely. Yes, I know it. I can help it. It's what's opera doc? It's a Bugs Bunny cartoon based on the Ring Cycle. La 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 la. Anyway, and that's not from the Ring Cycle. Anyway, yeah. So Elmer Fudd is wooing Bugs Bunny, who is dressed as a Valkyrie. Oh, you're so lovely. Yes, I know where I can help it. Yes, great. One of the greatest cartoons ever. It is. It is. I'm glad you think so, because I've told other people about What's Opera Doc and how absolutely marvellous it is, and they go, "What are you talking about? You're making it up." I'm not. Yes, the massive horse is a huge white horse, and it's just like, it's majestic. It's got a great big round chalky body and little tiny delicate hooves. Oh, it's just majestic horse. And then Bugs Bunny's pretending to be dead on the back, and he's like, oh, yes. Anyway, it's a very good. You should seek it out. Seek it. Yes. Game of are you fan? Game of Thrones theme? Oh, I don't know. La 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 la. Yes, I did do. David Evans, David Morgan, David Evans, David Morgan. La la la. Yeah. So Peter Dinklage is the viral version of that. Anyway, yes. So that was fun. What's Opera Doc? Go and see it. And now I'm trying to think who wasn't Mahler. Begins with an M. Name a composer that writes chamber music, orchestral music, small concerty thing. That's not Mahler. It definitely wasn't Mahler, but obviously that would have been great. A friend of mine, Peter Buckley Hill, went, I think every year or so, he goes to see the Ring Cycle, the whole thing, and it takes years from start to finish. Yes, so that's fun. So yes, that was the Peter Dinklage. So it was the Ring Cycle. So you get up and you go and see it, and then 3 million years later, it's coming to a close, and you're exhausted, and you're going, I can't take another Valkyrie. Leave me alone. Take a Valium instead of a Valkyrie. Valkyries ever. Ah, yeah. Marla. It is Marla. Hang on. I'm getting very confused. It was Marla. I'm very confused because I did go to see Marla, and I'm thinking of Wagner. Ha ha! What on earth are you talking about? I'm going, oh, it wasn't Mahler because I always get Mahler and Wagner confused. And this is a case in point, because I did go and see Mahler, and I was thinking of Wagner. Wagner is the Ring Cycle. Yes. So you'll have watched this for a minute or two and gone, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yes, Mahler and Wagner, they're not the same thing. But I was right the first time about Mahler. I went to see Mahler. Ladies Who Lunch. That is good. Elaine Stritch singing a Stephen Sondheim. Here's to the ladies of lunch. Oh, la, la. Aren't they a gas? Now, there's a line in that. Da 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 da. Another piece of Mars. Another piece of Mars. And I'm like, what's a piece of Mars? Is that a delicious cake? Another piece of Mars. I'm gonna eat all the Mars. Is it like a sort of opera cake? It is like an opera cake in that it is a concerto of a it's another piece of Mahler's. It's the ladies who lunch. Here's to the ladies who lunch. Aren't they a gas? La 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 la. Dee 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 da. Another piece of Mahler's. Yes, Mahler's, exactly. Another piece of Mahler's. So it's a piece of Mahler, Mahler's music, a piece of Mahler's music in the ladies at lunch, a piece of Mahler's music. But I thought for absolutely years it's like Mahler's, like Mohlers. It's a piece of Mahler's is the best cake. That's because you're a lady that lunches. If you're a lady that lunches, then it must be a piece of cake. But it's not a piece of cake. I've gone through this, and it's not that at all. Another piece of Mahler's, but not a piece of Wagner's, because that is a completely different thing. I'm glad we got around to it. Wow, what a comic piece. What a genius you are that you've gone through that and you made a comic mistake. And that's what it was. Not that you've made a genuine mistake, and you're completely wrong about things. Anyway, so I did see Mahler at St. David's Centre, which is now closed. Get back to the point of the story. It has closed because of concrete rot and will not be open for a year. I did eat in that St. David's Centre once because when I was about 13, I had a friend called David. Not David Morgan. It was David Edwards. Now, David Edwards was... I think we can safely say that Pride would have been a great place for him. Great. But I knew that, age 13, he was about 4 years older. He was doing drama up at the college, and I was still in school. And he made friends with me, and he told all his friends about me because he got me as a pet project because I was quite unpopular at school. Like I said, short hair, big glasses, looked like a boy. Looked very strange and was not popular. Everybody hated me. Really did not like me. I was the least popular person in the history of the world. But he decided he was going to befriend me and give me a makeover. So one time he gave me like a big... I got a perm at one point just to try and make an effort to look better with my stupid hair. And he decided to like put all this makeup on me and big hairspray, and we drove down. He could drive very slowly. He drove like 2 miles an hour to Newport and then parked and left me, 13-year-old, big hair, stupid makeup, in the passenger seat and went into this pub, which I knew was an establishment that catered to the sort of people that go to Pride. And I knew this at 13, and I knew that he was messing about. And then he did other things that were like interesting. Anyway, I stayed in the car this whole time when he did these things, whatever he did, and then we drove back, and it was like, he thinks that I don't know what's going on with him in there, but I do. Anyway, I somehow got... The people at my school were like, "Oh, you're going out with David Edwards?" And I'm like, Anyway, because he was a great friend, he took me out to dinner once in this interesting relationship. My first relationship, grown-up relationship, age 13, with a slightly older boy. There was nothing going on, obviously. But he took me to the St. David's, and he had, there was a restaurant upstairs, and we had Dover sole, and he got his little post office book out, like he was going to pay for this. like a grown-up person. One of the things that he got down there, we went to all the department stores, probably David Morgan's and all of those. He wanted to get Poison perfume. Do you remember Poison perfume? It was he liked putting that on, but he was embarrassed. He said he didn't want to go and get the samples, the free samples, but he wanted me to get the free samples for him and pretend I was his sister and have the samples and then go and bring the samples and give them to him so he could wear the Poison perfume. So as if I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, as a sort of reward for this, he took me to lunch, it was really, and I was a lady who lunches more or less, and we went there to the St. David Centre, and he bought me this this Doversol, and he got his post office book out, and when the price came, and he was like, because I don't think he wanted to pay for it. It was £14, which was a fortune. That was his entire life savings that he'd saved ages. And those little blue, or the lady with the couch would say grey, were those blue books. They were like a little pass book, and they were plastic on the outside. They had a little strip of clear plastic down the side, and you'd flip open, and they'd write down how much you put in. And the interest rate was phenomenal. It was like 11% or something. So you put your money in, and then every year you'd send it off, and they'd send it back, and they'd write with the handwriting how much you'd earned in interest, and you'd be absolutely astonished. Anyway, he'd obviously done this entire life, and he'd earned a whole £14, including all the interest, and he spent it all on Doversol and really resented me. I could see in his eyes, he was like, I wish I hadn't said that I was going to pay for this. And I was like, I've got money, David, my mummy gave me money, I can pay for this. And he's like, no, I am man, I will pay. So that was the first time that I've been out for lunch, out to lunch with a gentleman called David, who's not the David that's in the comments. He's definitely not. But that was the St. David Centre. What a coincidence. What a coinky-dink if you're Bugs Bunny. I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. That's not Bugs Bunny. I can't do a Bugs Bunny. I can obviously do Donald Duck, but not Bugs Bunny. Different. It's like Marvel and DC. Bugs Bunny and Donald Duck are never going to meet. But what a crossover that would be. There's the Daffy. Fluffer and Fuckadash is not a good Donald. Daffy and Donald. Two different ducks. Both of them got speech impediments, though. One of them lisps, the other one can barely be understood. At least he's not Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Or Scrappy-Doo. 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 Hong Kong Phooey, that's another one. Do you remember Hong Kong Phooey? I've cycled through all the stories that I've ever done, and I'm back to the start. My Hong Kong Phooey, when I went to Alison Wolford's house, and we watched Hong Kong Phooey, and I was like, oh, I love Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey's brilliant. I love it how Henry, the mileman janitor, nobody realises that he's Hong Kong Phooey. Nobody realises he's Hong Kong Phooey. It's brilliant. And she went, Henry the janitor's not Hong Kong Phooey, you stupid. And I was like, obviously one of us is. And I don't know who is and who isn't. I don't think I tune this guitar right, to be honest. But that was interesting. And Alison Wolford, who, again, met at my first day at my new school, Victoria Village, and said, hey! What we do here is we go out after school. These mean people, we beat them up because they're mean and they've said stuff about us. And you should come and see. There's going to be a fight. You should come and see. And that's not really my thing. And they're like, you have to come and see. So I was like, ugh. So I was like, okay, new person at my school. I'll come with you to see this fight. This is me, age 7 or 8. Whatever. So off I come up the lane with her and her friend Joanne, and I get to the end of the lane. I was like, and then she punches me in the face and runs away because it was me. It was me they were just trying to. And then the next day she's like, ha ha ha! Do you want to come round my house for spaghetti on toast? And I'm like, not really, but I suppose I have to, because otherwise I'll just get hit in the face again, won't I? So I better be friends with you. So years later, she's a nurse or something caring. It's like, hello. She's like, hello, and I'm like, yeah. I think there was I think there was only one reason we were friendly. Really, is because I didn't want to get punched in the face again. So I was like, hello, Alison. Yeah, I think you've forgotten that you punched me in the face, and I never really got over that, to be honest. Never really, because it was a very strange. It's like one day she'd be like bullying you, and the next day she'd be all friendly. Bullies, isn't it? Sorry, Alison, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but it's what happened. I can't help that. Sorry. Naming names, you see. I'm being very Elon Musky, aren't I? Oh, I don't know where the Borries are deadied, beddied, and all of that. Yes, naming names and all the dirty laundry's coming out. All the stuff that's happened. All the people, all the things. Ooh. It's my life as well, though. Like, these people, the people that come into your life, it's like, you know, they can go, oh, that never happened. It's like, well, that's how I remember it. Your interpretation may vary, obviously, but we were 8, so I'm forgiven, Alison. Well, there's other bullies in my life that were much worse than Alison. Alison, just, you know, obviously trying to create her own little domain. It's like, you know, it's all very petty. Children are very petty, aren't they? And also, all this thing about, women are kind, girls are kind. Look, they're so nice. They're so much nicer than men and boys. It's rubbish, isn't it? It's absolute rubbish. It's like people are people. Some people are nice and some people just are not so nice. It's one of those things, isn't it? Anyway, now I've said lots of things about lots of people and driven everyone away and talked a bit about Mahler and Wagner and other people and something that rhymes with day and other people and things that have happened in my life, and I still don't have an Edinburgh show. I don't know what to write, but Mahler is not Wagner, and Wagner is not Mahler, and Wagner wrote about Valkyries, and Mahler did not, and Mahler's not a pastry, and pastry's not a Mahler, and everybody must see that this is not a song, it's just what I wrote on the fly, oh my. Anyway, that's basically what happened. Rounding it up. So that was a joy for somebody. I don't know who. Was it for me? No. Was it for you? No. Please don't compare yourself to Elmo. Elmo? Elmo's... I didn't compare myself to Elmo, did I? Elmo? Can I do Elmo? Elmo, I think, is slightly better than... my Donald the Duck and my Bugs Bunny. Anyway, recognise back in the day, I had a scale. Oh, I had a what? What does that say? Hang on, I'm still here. I recognise. Wow, what the? Live chat. Recognise way back in the day, scale model of the Dukes of Hazzard. Oh yes, I have still got that. I don't know whether it's still here. I think it's in the other room. I've still got that. I think, unless I gave it to somebody. I possibly gave it to my nephew or something. Anyway, it's not here now, but I think I might still have the Dukes of Hazzard. We'll save that for another day. Whoa. Yes, we'll save that for another day. All right, so thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you soon. And what have I done? I've made a little dot in the bottom of my thing. So I will see... Live chat, la la la, there it is. Hello, Wagner. Hello. Hello, Wagner. Hello, Wagner. Anyway, thank you once again. Have a good week. You too. Well, hey, Yay! Do re mi fa sol la ti. Yay! I'll see you very soon. Now that I've been embarrassed myself, but not knowing the difference between Mahler and pastry and Wagner and what's opera dub. Anyway, it was all the same in the end, isn't it? All right, I'll see you next week. Bye!